Hello friends, here in this video we are going to see a problem on section of a hexagonal prism. Here is the question. A hexagonal prism, base 30 mm and axis 60 mm long, is resting on one of its base edges on HP such that the axis is inclined at 30 degree to HP and parallel to VP. I'll explain this condition in the problem. It is cut by an inclined plane inclined at an angle of 45 degree to HP and perpendicular to VP, passing at a distance of 25 mm above the base along the axis. Draw front view, sectional top view and true shape of the section. So this is the question in front of us. By reading it we understood that the type of solid is a hexagonal prism. I'll draw the diagram for that. So here is a hexagonal prism in which the top and bottom is in the form of a hexagon, that is called as top face and bottom face. Next, it is having rectangular faces, and since it is a hexagonal prism there are 6 rectangular faces because of 6 sides. Now the condition is hexagonal prism base 30 mm and axis 60 mm long is resting on one of its base edges on HP. On HP means this hexagonal prism is kept in HP, that is in the ground, and if we look from top then we are going to see this hexagon. That means this hexagon will be drawn in HP. So let us get started with the problem. XY line VP HP. Now hexagonal prism base 30 mm and axis 60 mm long is resting on one of its base edges on HP. See, if it is resting on the base edge, that base edge we are going to take it on to the right hand side because we are going to tilt the solid onto the right hand side. So we would be taking the right hand side edge as the reference. Now for that I'll draw the diagram, that is the initial condition of the prism looking like a hexagon from top view. Since 30 mm side is given, I'll mark 30 mm on this side from the center, taking that as the radius. Drawing a light circle. Next, it is resting on an edge. So on the right hand side I should get an edge, so marking the points accordingly. Then connecting these points with the help of light lines. So giving it the notations. Next, the height is 60 mm of this prism. In the front view, this will be 1 dash, 2 dash, 3 dash, 6 dash and 4 dash, 5 dash. Next, after this, here we can see that this hexagonal prism is resting on an edge 4, 5, and that was given in the question. It is resting on one of its base edges. That base edge is 4, 5. Now the condition is such that the axis is inclined at 30 degree to HP. See, inclination with HP is given and that inclination will be seen in VP. So axis, if I see here for this hexagonal prism, the axis is at the center looking like a point in the top view and it is a line in the front view coinciding with 3 dash, 6 dash. So here is the axis. That axis is inclined at 30 degree to HP. It will be seen in VP. So if axis is inclined at 30 degree, it means the angle between axis and base, that is 90, they are perpendicular to each other. So if axis is inclined at 30 degree, it means the base is inclined at 60 degree. So now here the base will be inclined at 60 degree. So taking a point here, measuring the angle as 60 degree. Now this is the base on which this prism will be tilted. So I need to mark that base from 4 dash, 5 dash up to 1 dash, 2 dash. Then here I'll say this is point 4 dash, 5 dash, and here there is 1 dash, 2 dash. Then here this edge is perpendicular, so I'll say that from this point I am going to mark an angle of 90 degree. Projecting a light line. Then I'll mark the height over it, which is 60, that is 1 dash to 1 dash. Parallel to it, a light line. So here I'll get 1 dash, 2 dash, and this is again 4 dash, 5 dash. Next I need to mark 3 dash, 6 dash over it. For that I'll take the distance from 4 dash, 5 dash up to 3 and 6. 4 dash, 5 dash up to 3 and 6. Connecting with light line first. Marking 3 dash, 6 dash. Then after reaching up till here, this is the front view of that inclined prism in which the axis is inclined at 30 degree angle. Base is at 60 degree and this is the perpendicular line. Now after completing this front view of the inclined prism, next is I am going to draw the top view. For that, observer is at the top, and as an observer those points needs to be projected first which are closer. So if we are looking from top, out of the two hexagonal bases, this top base is visible first, so I'll draw that or project the points for that first. So projecting 1 dash 2 dash with the help of light line, and then point 1 is at this location. So here I'll get it as point 1. Then where they intersect, that's going to give me point 1. Then 2 dash is also onto the same line, we can say it is onto the same line. This gives me point second. Then 3 dash 6 dash, projecting it light, and here 3, point number 3 from the top view, where they intersect, that's going to give me point 3. Then 6 dash is also onto the same line, so projecting point 6. Then 4 dash 5 dash, two and 4 are onto the same line, 1 and 5 onto the same line. So here I'll be getting 0.4, this will be 0.5. Then this complete hexagonal base will be visible. So that will be connected. Next, the bottom hexagonal base, again projecting 1 dash 2 dash, so here point 1 is at the same location, then similarly point second. Next 3 dash 6 dash onto the same level, so this is point 3, and here point 6. Next 4 and 5, 4 and 5. Now as an observer, if we are looking from top, the complete outline will be visible. So this will be connected, that is 6 to 1 connected, 2 to 3 will be connected, and 3 to 3 will be connected. But 4 5, this edge is going behind the observer, so that will be hidden, and even the edges connecting it, that is 5 to 6 will be hidden, 4 to 5 hidden, and then 4 to 3 will also be hidden. Now this is the hexagonal prism. After that I had not made anything dark here because I want the cutting plane. After that only I'll make things dark. Now it is cut by an inclined plane, inclined at an angle of 45 degree to HP. This angle will be seen in VP and perpendicular to VP. If it is inclined to one plane, means it is perpendicular to the other plane, passing at a distance of 25 mm above the base along the axis. So here in the second condition, we have to take the cutting plane, means cutting plane will appear as a line in the front view because inclined to HP will be seen in VP, and where it is located at a distance of 25 mm above. So this is the axis, that is above the axis. So here I have the base, and from that I am going to measure 25 mm above the base. On this axis there will be the cutting plane inclined at 45 degree. So through it first I'll draw a light horizontal line, a light horizontal line. Next marking 45 degree from here, so taking an angle, (45 degree) and making this cutting plane pass through it. So this line signifies the cutting plane cutting at 25 mm above the base on the axis. I'll make this cutting plane dark first. So this is the cutting plane, and as the observer is at the top, when we are cutting this, we have to retain some portion and remove some portion. So now, after I have located the cutting plane, next I'll start making the lines dark here, and for that, the first thing is, as an observer at the top, what will happen when the cutting plane is going to cut this hexagonal prism? I am going to remove the top portion, because then only I will be able to see the cut section. Otherwise, if I cut it and remove the bottom portion, then no section would be visible to me. That is, this prism will appear as it is. So while an observer is at the top, I have to replace the portion which is close to the observer and retain the bottom portion. That will show the sectional view, and for that I'll make it dark. So this much is the portion which is remaining, and the top portion is removed. This is the cutting plane A dash. Next, I'll make this initial condition also dark. Then once I have made this dark, here I look from the top, that is as an observer. So when it is cut, I need to project the points of the cutting plane, and whatever is visible I'll draw that. So first of all, when as an observer I am looking here, this portion 1 dash 2 dash, this complete edge, or you can say the triangular face, is removed. So when I am looking from top, this is the point which is cutting the two edges, which is, we can say 1 dash 6 dash and 2 dash 3 dash, like it is 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. It means that this cutting plane is cutting both the edges at the same location. So here we are going to get 2 points. Those 2 points I am going to project here. And now, where it is cutting 2 and 3, I'll say that is point A. Where it is cutting 1 and 6, I'll say that is B. So it means here that will be A dash comma B dash. Next, this cutting plane is cutting edge 3 dash 3 dash and 6 dash 6 dash. So projecting it downwards. So here, since cutting plane is cutting two edges at the same time, where it is cutting 3 3, I'll call it as point C. Where it is cutting 6 and 6, that I'll say it is point D. So here I am getting 2 points, C dash comma D dash. At last, when we see this end of the cutting plane, it is again cutting two edges, and those edges are 3 dash 4 dash and 6 dash 5 dash, because 3 4 and 5 6 are connected. So projecting the point downwards. Where it is cutting 3 and 4, I'll give that point as point E, and where it is cutting 5 and 6, I'll give that as F. So we have E dash and F dash here at this location. Now joining these points in the proper sequence, and as an observer, all the 6 points, that is A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash, E dash and F dash, are visible to me. So connecting them in order, A, B is already there. Next, connecting B to D, then D to F, F to E, already connected, E to C, and C to A. Then I'll make it dark so that we can understand which portion is there and which is removed. A to B connected. So this much is the portion which is cut and the other portion is removed. Next I'll make it dark. This 1 to 1 is close to the observer, so that was a dark edge, but now that portion has been removed and whatever is retained is this bottom portion. So this right hand side part is retained, that is D to 6 is connected, then 6 and 5 are connected, 5 and 4, 4 and 3, 3 and C, then after we are cutting this, after that when we are looking as an observer here, this edge 5 is visible, that is 5, we can say that up to B it will be visible. So B and 5 here means this line, they are onto the different planes. Drawn dark. Similarly 4 will also be visible, so dark. Then I have to make the sectioning here. For that the angle should be 45 degree. So taking any given point inside this much portion will also be dark. It is retained, that is 6, D and F. Next I am taking a point anywhere in between, measuring the angle over it. And that should be 45 degree. So drawing a light line. So this will be the reference. Next, after completing this, here is the cut section. I'll draw the hidden line inside this. So this is the complete sectional top view. Then I have to draw the true shape of the section. For that, I'll make this cutting plane parallel to HP or XY line. Measuring the distance of the cutting plane, that is where it is in contact with the hexagonal prism, from E dash F dash up to A dash B dash, it is in contact. So keeping here, I'll say this is E dash comma F dash, this is A dash comma B dash. Next I'll mark C and D over it. So from EF to CD, projecting the points in sequence. Here point A will be projected, where A and A dash intersect, that gives us point A. Next B dash is onto this same line, where B dash and B intersect, that is point B. Then C and D, here point C is there at the bottom. So this gives me point C, and D is there at the top. So D dash and D. Then E and F. Here will be point E. Connecting these points in order. Drawing the section over this. This is the true shape. So drawing section lines. Drawing the cutting plane dark. A dash, this is the true shape of the section. Here I'll be giving the dimensioning to it. The side of base is 30 mm. Axis height 60 mm given in the problem. And here I have given the inclination of the axis, and with this we complete the problem.